In the shadow of firelight, drums echoed across the plains. Warriors sharpened spears, their chants filling the night with dread. For years, one name had haunted Shaka Zulu, the name of a king who dared to defy him, a man who commanded thousands and ruled through fear as much as loyalty. His name was Zwide kaLanga, king of the Nwandwa, where Shaka forged discipline, Zwide wielded terror. His armies burned villages, enslaved survivors, and swept across southern Africa like a storm. But no storm lasts forever. In a clash that would shape the destiny of an entire region, Shaka and Zwide met in a war so brutal it left the land soaked in blood. Zwide was Shaka's greatest rival, a king whose rise seemed unstoppable until betrayal, arrogance, and fate brought him crashing down. His story is not just about war. It's about ambition unchecked, cruelty unmasked, and the haunting reminder that every empire has its breaking point. How did a man once feared as invincible fall so completely? And why is his name remembered in whispers, as the enemy Shaka had to destroy before he could become a legend? This is the rise and fall of Zwide kaLanga. The late 18th and early 19th centuries were a time of upheaval in southern Africa. This was the age of the Mafeking, the scattering, when kingdoms rose and fell in waves of conquest, famine, and migration. At the center of this storm stood two towering figures, Shaka Zulu, the young warrior king, and Zwide kaLanga, the seasoned ruler of the Ndwandwe. Zwide's rise began long before Shaka's. As leader of the Ndwandwe, he controlled fertile lands along the Pongala River and commanded one of the largest armies of his time. His warriors were numerous, well-armed, and utterly loyal, or perhaps utterly afraid. Unlike Shaka, who revolutionized warfare with tactics and discipline, Zwide ruled through sheer numbers and intimidation. He launched raids across neighboring chiefdoms, crushing resistance and leaving ruin in his wake. Villages whispered of his brutality. Families who refused his rule were slaughtered or enslaved. For the Nwandwe, this cruelty was power. For their enemies, it was terror. It was in this climate that Shaka rose, a former outcast turned military genius under the mentorship of Dingiswayo of the Mthethwa. While Dingiswayo dreamed of alliances, Shaka sharpened his regiments into instruments of war. The two powers, Nwandwe and Mthethwa, were on a collision course, and Zwide was determined to dominate. In a bold move, Zwide lured Dingiswayo into a trap, capturing and killing him. This act shocked the region, shattering alliances and leaving Shaka alone, vulnerable but also free to take command. From that moment, Shaka's path and Zwide's were locked together. One would rise, the other would fall. The death of Dingiswayo lit the fuse. Shaka inherited command of the Mthethwa regiments, uniting scattered clans under his vision. His reforms reshaped warfare. The Ikwawa, a short stabbing spear, replaced throwing weapons. Regiments trained in relentless close combat. Warriors were drilled to hold formation and kill without hesitation. Zwide, confident in his numbers, dismissed these changes. He believed his might alone could crush Shaka's ambitions. But Shaka was patient. He built alliances, integrated defeated clans, and prepared for the inevitable confrontation. The first clashes were small but telling. Shaka's disciplined warriors held their ground against Zwide's overwhelming numbers, using the famous buffalo horns formation to encircle enemies. Zwide, frustrated, escalated the conflict, sending larger and larger armies. The land became a battlefield. Villages were burned, cattle stolen, families uprooted. The Mafeking spread like wildfire as refugees fled the violence, carrying tales of both Nawan cruelty and Zulu ferocity, but Zwide made mistakes. His reliance on fear created cracks within his ranks. Some vassal tribes, tired of his brutality, secretly began siding with Shaka. Meanwhile, Shaka's reputation as a brilliant but ruthless commander grew. The decisive confrontation came at the Battle of Gockley Hill. Shaka's forces, though vastly outnumbered, lured Zwide's army into an ambush. Using terrain, discipline, and deception, the Zulu inflicted staggering losses. Zwide's pride refused retreat. His warriors pressed forward into slaughter dot by the end, the Ndwandwe were shaken, their aura of invincibility shattered. Zwide, humiliated, but unbroken, withdrew to regroup. Yet even as he plotted revenge, seeds of betrayal grew within his kingdom. Allies wavered. Confidence eroded. And Shaka, relentless as ever, pressed his advantage. But Zwide had one last gamble a campaign. So ambitious it could either restore his power or end his reign forever. The final act came with the Battle of Malatu's River. Zwide, desperate to crush Shaka once and for all, gathered what remained of his strength. His army marched with fury, determined to reclaim glory, but Shaka was ready. His scouts tracked Zwide's movements, his regiments waited in disciplined silence. When the Ndwandwe crossed the Malatus, the trap was sprung. Zulu regiments struck from hidden positions, encircling the Ndwandwe. The river became a graveyard, warriors drowning as they fled, others cut down in the chaos. Zwide's mighty force disintegrated, leaving only shattered remnants to tell the tale. Zwide himself escaped, but his kingdom was broken. His warriors scattered north, hunted and defeated in waves. The once feared Ndwandwe Empire collapsed, leaving Zwide a fugitive king with no throne, no army, and no future. The terror that once defined him was gone, replaced by silence. Zwide's fall cleared the path for Shaka's dominance. With the Ndwandwe destroyed, the Zulu Empire rose unchallenged, shaping the destiny of southern Africa. Shaka became a legend, his name synonymous with conquest and discipline, asterisk, but Zwide's story remains a dark mirror. His rise showed the power of fear, his fall the fragility of cruelty. Though his name is often overshadowed by Shaka's, he was the rival who forced Shaka to prove himself, the enemy whose downfall became the foundation of a legend. For the Ndwandwe, people, exile, and scattering followed. Some joined other tribes, others fled north, reshaping the map in ways historians still trace. The Mafeking, fueled by these wars, displaced countless lives. Zwide's legacy, then, is twofold: a cautionary tale of arrogance, and a reminder that even the mightiest can fall when ambition blinds them. He was Shaka's greatest enemy, the man who nearly stopped the legend. But in the end, Zwide kaLanga proved that even kings who rule through fear cannot escape the judgment of history. He was the only king who dared to challenge Shaka Zulu, and for a time he nearly won. Zwide kaLanga ruled with terror, but arrogance and betrayal led to his downfall. Watch till the end to uncover the chilling story of Shaka's greatest enemy and the brutal wars that reshaped southern Africa. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime histories and untold African stories.